Hi, are you planning to attend any interview in the near future? Is that an online interview? If that is the case, I have few steps or tips for you. That is, as soon as you receive the meeting request for the interview, ensure that you show your acceptance by acknowledging to it. Good. Now, once that is done, the next step is to ensure that we are ready for the interview. Most of the interviews, first 5 minutes, goes this way. Hey, I cannot hear your audio. I cannot see you. Can I grab my headphones? So the first 5 minutes of most of the interviews goes like this. Or it got delayed because the interviewee is not on time or the interviewer is not on time. Well, not much is in the hands of us with respect to what can happen with the interviewer, but there are many things that can be taken care from our side in terms of planning for the interview, right? So the first thing is to ensure that your microphone and the software which you're using for the online meeting, it could be Microsoft Teams or Zoom or any other software which you're using for the interview, is all set up and ready in your system so that it's just one click away for the interview to happen, right? And so we have to ensure the mic is properly working, which is good. And if possible, test it by having one kind of mock call with someone. Okay. And third one is also be prepared for the video. While most of the interviewers might not expect you to be on the video meeting, but they will be happy if you can share your video unless and until it is asked by the interviewer to stop the video. Go on sharing your video, because while sharing the video, audio plus video makes more sense and it will give a lot of meaning to what you're portraying in the interview, right? And it will also reduce a lot of communication gaps because you are showing not just your verbal communication, you're also showing your non-verbal communication, right? And it also shows your confidence on how well you can work in a remote atmosphere. We know how remotely we are working for last few years, and I'm sure every one of you would have a lot of experience working with Microsoft Teams for last 2 to 3 years or more than that. And this is the time where you can encash that, right? So tomorrow when you join a project, even if you're called to office to work for 2 or 3 days, how you speak to the customer mostly in most of the projects is via the Microsoft Teams or via Zoom or some other softwares, right? If you're able to showcase your confidence with your video and audio, reflecting some examples and the way how you're gesturing, all that helps. Even if your pronunciation is not so well in some of the occasions, when you're sharing your video, that gives more confidence and it will ensure the other person is understanding you properly. Yeah, this is quite basic. Everyone knows this. But most of the times we see that video is not shared in the interviews because of so and so reasons. But I will advocate for this. Ensure that your video is shared in the interview and you're striking the right points with your right gestures, just like the way how you communicate to your customers or to your team members. And this tip will hold good not only for junior level positions like system architect or senior system architect, even it will apply to the leads like technical leads or lead system architect, or even to the people applying for the leadership positions. Okay, so after all, we have got so much of experience working in a remote fashion. Why to afraid? Why to be afraid in sharing the video in the interviews? That's my main point. That's a main interview tip that I would like to share in this. Okay, and once that is done, just ensure that you're not only answering to the questions asked in the interview, you're holding the conversation and you're ensuring that you're striking the conversation with the right balance. Okay, so what I mean by this is, normally if you're attending any technical interview, it should, if it is going on in a question and answer basis, that is like, it can go depending on the interviewer and interviewee and the tone of the interview. A lot of things matter. I'm sure most of you can correlate to that. But if you're able to strike a conversation and hold the conversation, you're not just answering to the question of the interviewer, but you're also adding a point by giving some examples from your previous project. Hey, we have done it in a bit different way like this. I can think of two other approaches, which out of which one we have implemented in a previous project. That will, you don't know, like the interviewer can connect to it and he can add on top of that, and the conversation can be driven based on the conversation which you started. So there you will have a better advantage than going in just question and answer mode. Okay, those are the few points which I would like to share with you. Thank you so much.